Hi and welcome to the More to Life podcast. This is my third mini episode. So today I'm going to be talking to you just a little bit about taking a 360 approach to kind of your recovery or your healing journey. So if we're talking specifically about your relationship to food, the relationship that you have with your physical body, we can get quite sort of narrow-minded in thinking it's the food and we need to change our diet, or we need to do a new diet, we need to eat a certain way, especially with all this marketing, this clever manipulating marketing that tells us that there's these really simple and easy diets to do that are gonna give us freedom and make us love ourselves, which it is not true. That doesn't create peace. That doesn't create fulfillment and purpose. That doesn't create healing. So please stay away from the dieting. However, take a 360 approach at this. There will be an element of food that is creating your dietary chaos, that is creating your disordered eating. If you are in a deficit, if you are skipping meals, skipping snacks, if you're not eating like nutritious food, if you're not getting a good balance, then you are going to stay in dietary chaos. If you're in restriction, you're going to end up overeating. If you're in restriction, you might end up even binging. If you're not eating the right foods, you're going to get big sugar, not even the right foods. If you're not eating more nutritious food than less, you're going to get big sugar spikes and then big drops down. Your mood is going to be all over the place. If you're not having enough of all the macronutrients, you're not going to be producing the right hormones, which, just to put that really simply, is like your mood hormone. That's like the hormone that makes you feel good and happy. And if you're not eating right, then you're not going to feel good. So yes, there is an element of that. But also take a 360 approach. Look at your life. Put your name in a circle. Put a circle around it and then almost do like a bit of a spider diagram coming off it. What are all the things that go on in your life? Relationships, partners, maybe just dating people, family, siblings, parents, jobs, self-employment, activities, friendships, hobbies, pets, everything. And I want you to start in detail thinking, how does this serve me? Does this create any additional stress, anxiety, or even just, is it a trigger? So it might be that you have a friend and you don't feel anxious around them, you feel quite happy around them, but they're triggering a memory from childhood. It might be that your stress at work is actually causing you so much stress that it's then making you overeat. And also with stress, what we do know is that it raises your cortisol levels. When you raise your cortisol levels, you're going to store fat a lot more easily. And also, you're going to have an increased appetite quite often. So all these things are going to be contributing to this. Everything is linked. So when I work with clients, we sit down and I ask them questions of all kinds of things. And some of them will be like, I don't understand how that's related. And then when we go through the program, they'll realize it's highly related. For me, personally, with my disordered eating, I thought it was just the food, but I had to do this 360 approach. And what I realized was to minimize the people that don't make me feel so good. And not because they're not very nice people or nothing to do with that, more because they were triggering something personal within me. I was also having to learn to say no to things that weren't serving me or things that I didn't actually want to do. I was having to really look at my schedule. Where can I stop being so double busy and calm down and process things? And then something that came up for me was that I did really lack a sense of purpose. Like, I had a good job at the time. I had lots of friends. I had partners and I had great connections, but there was still this huge void in my life. And I had to really think outside the box about what this could be. And one thing that popped up in my head one day was that I didn't do well at school, probably because I was suffering with disordered eating and body dysmorphia, but I completely flunked school. I then pretty much flunked college as well, and went into full-time work, and I didn't get grades. So there was a sense of like low self-worth, my low self-worth being activated from that feeling of useless. Couldn't do my GCSEs, couldn't do my A-levels. I struggled to turn up. I couldn't concentrate. I daydreamed. I did a lot of daydreaming. And I remember sitting all the exams and thinking, I don't know what the hell's going on. How are all these people around me able to answer these questions? Like, when did we learn this? Like, I was just completely behind. And some of that will be because I'm not naturally academic, but also some of it was because I wasn't given the right support. And at that time, I couldn't get into it. But that was quite a big void in my life, and that really created a sense of low self-worth. So I thought, okay, I need to find a hobby. I need to find something I enjoy. So I went out and tried a variety of different things. New classes, dance classes, pole dancing. I tried different courses online. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and learn a language, because I'd always had a bit of a secret desire, like bubbling away to do that. So I started learning Spanish, and then it was a complete game changer for me, along with many, many other things. It gave me something to do in the evenings, as opposed to focusing on what I was eating or what I wasn't eating and obsessing over that. I started to learn a few words. I started to get a sense of achievement, and then I'd do the next few and the next few. And before I knew it, I was just really enjoying it. And I was just felt like I had such a purpose, not to anyone else, but just to myself. And also that sense of accomplishment. And that sort of, I thought I wasn't able to do anything academic, but actually I am. And it really, really helped me. And I'm still learning to this day. And I've done, GCSEs and about doing A-level, and then it's been amazing. But can you see how I had to think outside the box? I had less of a desire to fill myself up with food because I was getting it from feeling better about new knowledge and learning. I had higher self-worth, so I took better decisions for myself. So I didn't need to people please as much because I felt better in myself. It just transformed everything from within me. Like I said, it wasn't just this one thing. I also had to work on relationships. I had to work on food. I had to work on trauma. I had to work on healing, coping mechanisms, limited beliefs. I had to work on so much. But this was something that gave me a focus that wasn't about food or exercise. And like I said, that sense of, I've proved myself wrong. Because like I said in the last podcast, we need to build the trust muscle with ourselves. And I was really lacking with that in terms of anything sort of academic, or, I would just shut down. It'd be like, no, if I couldn't do it then, I can't do it now. And I remember getting really panicky at school with things, and also into my 20s. And it's almost like an automatic thing that I wouldn't be able to do it. So it helped me so much. So when you go through your circle, figure out, okay, what else could be contributing to the way I feel about myself, the way I eat. And like I said, think outside the box. Is there a lack of sense of purpose, fulfillment? Is it just the lack of exercise? Or, what is it? Is it you're lacking a certain connection? In terms of friendships, we hear this word being bounced around a lot. Best friend. And that's always something that that I always used to ponder about. I remember thinking at one point in my life, there's something missing because I don't have this best friend. And then I realised that actually that was just a buzzword. And actually we have special relationships with lots of different people, and we don't need to label people best friends. And actually that was quite a difficult thing for me to get my head around. And when I did get my head around it, I was like, actually, I'm all good. So yes, there you go. That is my mini episode on take a 360 approach. Think outside the box, write down everything that you do or everything that actually you don't do, and that is lacking. There's also the wheel of life, which you can Google it. It's a very life sort of life coaching exercise where it will show you the different parts that need to contribute to someone's life to sort of lead the most fulfilled and purposeful life. So you can Google that. You'll see them come up. It will say, relationships, family, friends, work, education, spiritual, say around about, a load of things. If you're struggling to find it, send me a DM on Instagram, which is at I am Elle Mace, and I will be able to send you some content. Have a fabulous day. Lots of love.